The Merry Shoemakers and the Kind Shoemaker. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the edge of a green forest, lived a kind-hearted shoemaker named Mr. Williams. He had a cozy little shop filled with rows of neatly crafted shoes, each pair polished to a gentle shine. Mr. Williams loved making shoes and took great pride in his work, but times were tough, and he was struggling to sell enough shoes to make a living. One winter evening, as soft snowflakes began to drift down from the sky, Mr. Williams sat by his small fireplace, feeling worried. The last pieces of leather lay on his workbench, and he sighed as he gazed at them. "If only I had enough leather to make more shoes," he murmured softly. "Maybe then things would turn around." Far off in the forest, a merry group of magical elves, known as the Merry Shoemakers, heard Mr. Williams' wish. These elves loved helping people who showed kindness and a gentle heart, and Mr. Williams had both. They decided they would surprise him. That night, as the village slept under a blanket of snow and moonlight sparkled on the rooftops, the Merry Shoemakers crept into Mr. Williams' shop. Their eyes twinkled with joy, and their nimble fingers moved like magic. With soft giggles and cheerful whispers, they took the scraps of leather and began crafting. In no time, they created the most exquisite pair of shoes anyone had ever seen. The shoes sparkled with a magical glow, a reflection of the elves' kindness and skill. The next morning, Mr. Williams entered his shop and gasped in surprise. Right there on his workbench was a pair of shoes unlike any he had ever made. They seemed to glisten with a soft, enchanting light. This is incredible," he exclaimed, a smile spreading across his face. As word spread through the village, people came from near and far, eager to buy Mr. Williams' marvelous shoes. Each customer left his shop with a smile, charmed by the magical shoes. Mr. Williams' luck began to change, and soon his shop was bustling with business. Yet, as grateful as he was, he couldn't help but wonder who had helped him. Determined to solve the mystery, Mr. Williams decided to stay awake and watch his shop at night. He hid behind a stack of boxes, his eyes barely peeking over the edge, waiting. Night after night, he kept watch, but the Merry Shoemakers were clever and knew he was there, so they did not show themselves. Then, one night, as Mr. Williams pretended to be asleep, he heard soft laughter and saw a gentle glow fill his shop. Peeking from behind the boxes, he watched in amazement as the Merry Shoemakers appeared, their tiny forms glowing under the moonlight. They danced joyfully around the shop, their laughter like sweet bells, and got to work crafting beautiful shoes. Overcome with gratitude, Mr. Williams clapped his hands together and stepped forward. "Thank you, Merry Shoemakers," he exclaimed. The elves paused in surprise, but then their leader, a cheerful elf named Elara, smiled warmly at him. "We heard your wish and felt your kindness," Elara explained. "Helping you brings us joy." Touched by their words, Mr. Williams promised to keep their secret safe and thanked them sincerely. From that day on, the Merry Shoemakers would occasionally visit his shop, bringing magic and joy with them. Mr. Williams' business flourished, and the village buzzed with stories of the enchanted shoes crafted by a kind shoemaker and his magical friends. As the years passed, Mr. Williams' shop became a place of happiness and friendship, and he was no longer just a shoemaker. He was part of the magic that brought smiles to everyone in the village. Each shoe he sold carried the warmth of kindness, and villagers wore them proudly, knowing that they held a piece of a wonderful story. And so, the Merry Shoemakers and Mr. Williams continued their friendship, reminding the village of the power of generosity and the magic that comes from a caring heart. Whenever a pair of shoes sparkled with a special light, the villagers knew the Merry Shoemakers had visited. As the stars twinkled in the sky and the village drifted to sleep each night, Mr. Williams felt the warmth of joy and kindness in his heart, dreaming of laughter, friendship, and the magical moments he shared with the Merry Shoemakers. The end.